Hello everyone, this is Tim Lucarelli with FX Addicts, and this is the weekly currency report. Today is March 16th, 2012, and the last couple of days here, this week has been fairly volatile for the currencies. The last couple of days, the dollar has given back pretty much of its gains that it gained in the beginning part of the week. So we've had quite a bit of an up and down week here, and this is a 60-minute chart which shows really the action from just about the beginning of the week till today. And you can see how we ran up the beginning of the week, and we peaked out here on about Wednesday, and then yesterday and today we've just fallen right back, coming in lower than we pretty much started out the week as. So not a very good sign for the dollar, although the stochastics here are very oversold, so there could be a little bit of a bounce coming here, at least on the 60-minute chart. But overall, still looks not very good, especially when you look at the longer-term charts. Now, on the euro, we have a pretty good day here today. It's rallying up 92 pips right now as we're coming into the close, very close to its highs for the day. And it looks like I've drawn this line in here kind of arbitrarily, but as a measurement I've taken that we could start a somewhat of a downward channel using this. The other part is that if we break above this and close decisively above this, it could signal at least an interim turnaround here where we would take out these highs. These highs being the ones that we made last month here, about the middle of February. So if we go a little bit further out here and look at the weeklies, I've drawn in this channel, we've had this in here now the last few weeks, and we can see that right now this channel is about 134. So if we were to close above that, that would really signal a turnaround on the weekly basis. Now there is a possibility for that. We came down here today or this week and hit some pretty good support, and we've bounced off of it. Now we would really need to rally significantly this next week and get up to this channel line about 134, 133.50, and then the following week we'd have to decisively close above it. So if that happens, that could signal a turnaround. Now on the monthlies, that little line that we can draw in there is still quite a long ways away. That would be about 138. So we would really have to close about 139 to really create a rally where we would then go out and take out, or try to take out, these highs around 160. Will that happen? Probably not. This is still a very weak currency in comparison to the dollar. And fundamentally, there's a lot of things out there as well. Now, fundamentally, there's a lot of positioning and a lot of all of a sudden euphoria about the European economy that it's not going to be as bad of a recession as once thought. And that's probably true. We won't know, of course, for another few months on that, but nonetheless, there are some economic signs that look better and more encouraging for the European economy. So there is a possibility that money could rush into Europe and drive the euro higher against the dollar. However, the U.S. is also experiencing probably a better and more decisive type of economic upturn. So there could be a real fight here amongst the two currencies. Now, in the British pound, a British pound up 120 pips right now, and we're breaking out here a little bit, getting back into some resistance levels up here, about the 159 level, 158.50, 159.50 area. And this week we came down here to this level and really found some good support. This was support from back here. We broke through it one day and came right back up through it the next, came down several more days, tested it, and failed to decisively close below it. So technically the market has rallied now. And it looks like this is going to continue, at least on a daily basis. We look at the weekly here and we can see how we're still above this minor trend line, and we had a little reversal 2 weeks ago on the weekly chart, but now this week we're showing some very good strength here. So it's very possible that that we could rally up here and get back up to this other little minor resistance line up here around 163. So there is that possibility that we could rally up to that point. Now, if we rally up to that point and the stochastics do not, we'd have a divergence there, and we'd probably come right back down very quickly. And we're looking for us to come back down to this trend line, which is now about 152.60 area. So this is a market that is really consolidating still. I mean, if you look at it, we're still not anywhere different than where we were back in the beginning or middle of 2010. So essentially for the last 2 years, we've been trading along in the same very close range here and really going nowhere. If we look at the monthlies, we can see this a little bit better, and we can see how this is really a consolidation off of this extremely large move. Now, technically, we should bounce around in here and then fall out to the downside on a longer term basis. So we could get back up here to this 165, 166 level, and all we're doing is completing the pattern to sell off. So that can happen, and that can happen over a much longer period of time, obviously. So U.S. dollar against the Swiss franc selling off again today. Now, this is the second day in a row. We went up here. We hit some minor resistance up in here, and then failed. We closed just barely at it on Wednesday, then failed yesterday, and now today we're having continuation. So drawing in some of these little minor lines in here, and we're now closing below somewhat of a minor support line, and there's still this action down in here that we could get down to, where if we drew a line right across, we could get down to that level and maybe find some support there. If we do not, then we'll take out these lows and make a new low somewhere down. We could even go down to the 86 level. So technically, we got a little bit of a bearish turnaround here with the U.S. dollar against the Swiss franc on the daily chart. On the weeklies, well, we're still looking decent, but this week now with this long tail going up and kind of a hammer forming there, could be some kind of a doji maybe. It's hard to tell. It's very small. So we're going to call it a bearish pattern and on the weekly. So we could very easily sell off again from here. And the U.S. dollar against the Swiss was doing quite well here, and now it's not looking quite as good. Same on the monthlies. Now we had 2 months lower, so here we are halfway point in March. We could very easily sell off here and make some new lows and be a down month. So not really looking too good. U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen continues to climb. 2 minor down days, yesterday and today now. Somewhat of a correction, not really a great correction, but really not looking for anything major type of correction until we hit above 85. So this could be another minor coming down maybe to 83 and then rallying back up and making new highs. On a weekly basis, still very strong. This is the 6th week up in a row, and on a monthly basis still looks very strong as well. So we could complete this rally by getting up by the end of the month to about 85, 85.50, and then maybe get a month or so of a minor correction here, something more meaningful than what we've had, and a fall off. Euro Swiss enjoyed a very good rally on Wednesday and then has since fallen back. Really failed to close above some minor resistance levels and then fell right back. So technically, it does look like we could settle in here for a day or two and then maybe make another stab at that move higher. There's a lot of obviously fundamental things going on there. So, but overall, still looks fairly mundane unless we get above that longer-term trend line there. Euro yen enjoying another update today. Been up just about every day this week. up 48 pips right now, back up to above 109, actually pushing 110. And if we look at the weeklies, we can see that we're closing very close here this week to some minor resistance levels. And it looks like we'll probably pop up next week. Now, the monthlies drawn in this little trend line here, and this would put us up then, if we were to get up there this next week, about 113 area. And we would still be within the downward move here. This is still a downward trend, and it's still extremely weak because of this sell-off. So all we're doing is really continuing with this channel, and we're having somewhat of a correction here within that channel. So we get up to about 113. It's a very good possibility that we could then sell off on a longer-term basis. Now, I've definitely extended my time this week. Sorry about that. I went a little overboard, but we did have quite a bit of action this last week and a lot to talk about. So if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to contact me, Tim Lucarelli at fxaddicts.com. Stop by, see our site if you haven't already, and certainly feel free to contact me with questions. Thanks. Bye.